There are two things that should not be confused. There's a country called Israel, and there's an ideology called Zionism.
But the country
works
off of this ideology.
Right. The country is run based on the ideology, but you can have the ideology without the country. There were Zionists who didn't want a country.
Yeah.
Right? In fact, I think it was 1904, Israel Zangwill, if memory serves, wrote an article there,
right,
in which he said, Israel Zangwill is one of the founding fathers of Zionism, actually, and he had said, better Zionism without Zion than Zion without Zionism.
Right.
Better have the ideology and the nationalism, even if you like the Kurds, let's say, cultural Zionism or something like that the Jews should become a culture and have a flag rather than have a state without Zionism. So as far as Israel's concerned, to me, Israel's relationship to me is the same as Uganda's relationship to me. It's the same as China's relationship to me.
Well, let's say they implemented that, they now no longer represent all Jews.
Who do they represent?
Well, let's just strip that layer back.
No, you
first.
see, that's you can't. You can't. That's everything I'm saying. It's all based on all the issues that people have with Israel are all based on one philosophy. Israel is the nation state of the Jewish nationality. Now, what's packed into there is, like I said, it's all smoke and mirrors. It's a fake nationality, a unilateral declaration that you're a state of people that have nothing to do with you, a nationality that the only way you could become part of this nationality is by a religious conversion to a religion that the prime minister and the founding fathers of Zionism don't even believe in. Judaism, they're not observant Jews. And you're born into it, but if you practice another religion, you're not even a national. And 1,000 years, for 1,000 generations, you could be an Israeli and do all the Zionist things. But if you're not Jewish, it's still not, you have no self-determination rights. Zionism is inherently a self-contradictory, nonsensical ideology. And it's not a question of good or bad. It's not. Look, far be it from me to tell the Palestinians, what strategy they should take to get their own state or whatever it is. However, just as there are many Jewish people that are looking at the media and they think they understand what Zionism is and what the issues are and what the choices are regarding what to do about, the Palestinians also don't understand. Like the Jews don't understand. The Palestinians, now, I'm not saying everybody, but the ones who learn about Palestinians from the media, I do know that many of them do understand there's a difference between Judaism and Zionism.
Right.
But what they don't understand, and it's not, I'm saying they as opposed to the French don't get it. Many Jews don't get it. They don't understand what Zionism is. Zionism is not a certain behavior. Zionism is a fake ideology of Israel being the state of a non-existent nationality as opposed to the state of Israelis. It's not white supremacy. It's not Jewish supremacy. It's not. You know why? Even if you're going to come to me, and you will be able to, that Israel discriminates in favor of Jews. Yeah. They do.
With villages and where you can live. And
all of that is true. And I'm not even talking in West Bank. I'm talking in Israel proper.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
The level of unfairness,
preserve its Jewishness.
The level of unfairness is different in the West Bank. Yeah. It was military law and all sorts of, and that's a problem. But to understand the problem, we have a very important saying amongst our sages. A good question is half the answer. You have to know what the question is.
Right.
What really is the problem?
And you think
the problem is not Jewish supremacy. I'll tell you why.
You think people are missing the core question?
Yes. So they think it's Jewish supremacy. Then there are those that are saying, because they're following the Talmud, and in the Talmud it says, all this is nonsense. And
It actually breeds anti-Semitism.
Of course it breeds. It's more. These are the anti-Semites. This business with the Talmud was a Christian, not a Muslim, a Christian type of anti-Semitism that goes back many years, because we all believe in the Bible, the Old Testament, right? What makes Jews Jews is, what makes our religion is our interpretation of the Bible and our, I guess, I'm not sure it's the same, but from my very minimal understanding of Islam, you have the Quran, then you have the Hadiths, and then, so the Quran isn't in itself the all of Islam, right? You have other parts too. This oral Torah, which is the Talmud is part, and it's that really makes Judaism.
Right.
So if you want to attack Judaism, you can't attack the Old Testament. What are you going to attack? Because the Christians believe in the Old Testament. You're going to attack the Talmud, and you're going to all the anti-Semitic tropes that Jews eat blood of Christians, and that Christians or non-Jews are inhuman, which is all lies. This was all in 1970. A PLO think tank came out with a document, which I have over here, that said to the Palestinians, don't dare, you should not take up this strategy because it is anti-Semitic, it's nonsense. We looked into it and don't do it. But then there's those that say that it's a Jewish supremacy or white supremacy, because that is the natural default path of least resistance to understanding an unfairness between Jews and non-Jews. That's not it.
Well, there can be multiple issues.
I
understand you're saying...
No, but let me tell you what the one issue is, which you don't need anything else to explain it.
Okay.
See, if it would be Jewish supremacy, so then Zionists outside of Israel would also believe that Jews are superior to non-Jews. And you don't find that outside of Israel.
No, but this is what I'm saying. It can be multiple things.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying it's less than this. This plus other things. But if there is a Jewish supremacy or something, it would exist outside of Israel as well among Zionists, and it doesn't. You don't have, except for support of Israel, there is no, like you have white supremacists that go around preaching white supremacy. The Jewish people, even the Zionists, don't go around saying Jews compared to non-Jews here in America, Christians or whatever they are. You don't find that type of talk. But I'll tell you what the problem is. Now that we understand what Zionism is, the problem is simple. You don't need to think about it. The problem is that in the United States of America, this is the country of the American citizens. Non-citizens have certain rights. But if America gives more rights to citizens, that's not American supremacy. It's not white supremacy if you have Mexican non-citizens. The country is for the American citizens. Italy is for the Italian citizens. Israel is for the Jewish nation. Israel, it's the citizenship structure. Israel to the Jews is like France to the French. That's what Netanyahu said. That's what Zionism is. So if you have French people in France, and you have other people who are not French citizens, right?
I want to hear what
you're going to
discriminate.
And therefore, that's really the problem. The problem is these 22 appellants were trying to solve the problem by making an Israeli nationality and not a Jewish nationality. I am trying to solve the problem by teaching people that this idea of a Jewish nationality and Israel being the state of that nationality, especially number two, is a Zionist invention. Once you understand the problem, then you'll be able to solve it. The problem is Zionism, the ideology, that the Jews are a nationality and the state of Israel is the state of that nationality. Once upon a time, the Zionists believed that all the Jews are going to move to Israel. And all Jews are going to identify as Zionists in Israel. Things didn't work out the way the Zionists thought, especially after 1967, when they captured big swaths of land with all of these millions of non-Jews. Now they have a problem.
Demographic problem.
A demographic problem. And why is the demographics a problem? Not because of white supremacy, not because of Jewish supremacy, because you saw their laws say, their ideology says, this is the country of the nation of the Jews. How are you going to... And yes, the nation-state law was only 2018, but it was just a formality. The ideology was always there. So if this is the country of the Jews, you could become a Jew, if you convert. It's weird. Zionism makes no sense. But if you accept the idea of a Jewish nationality, and you accept the idea that Israel, that there's such a thing as a nation state, then you can accept the idea that Israel is the country of the Jews. And now, yes, they should have just not taken the territory in 1967. They shouldn't have, and then things would be a lot better. But they did, and now they can't annex the people in the territories because you have this demographic problem. And the problem is not supremacy per se. The problem is not settler colonialism per se. Settler colonialism was a means to an end. The end was Zionism. A new Jewish identity. And it had to be in Palestine. It had to be in the Holy Land because it had to be a Jewish identity. It had to appeal to Jewish sentiments. They had to have the Jewish symbols because it was for the Jewish nationality. So now, how do you maintain a Jewish nationality? All the Palestinians can convert to Judaism, and then there will be no problem. Now, the Zionists won't let that happen because they'll just say it's insincere, the conversion. Yeah. It's not, if you have to be religious and you have to be a Jew. And besides, why should you give up your religion?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But you see what that is. In order to become a national of a democratic state, you have to convert to another religion, and the conversion will only be considered valid by the Israeli government because the Israeli government follows the Jewish rabbinic laws regarding conversions. You have to be an Orthodox Jew. Otherwise, you can't become a national of this nationality. Therein is where our efforts should be. Zionism is stupid. It's nonsensical. It's intellectually incoherent. The idea of it's an identity. It's an identity crisis, an identity theft. It's nonsensical, and the solution is very simple.